Hey, and welcome to Board with Life News for April 25th, brought to you by Tabletop Games. This week I'm going to talk to you about Ariel, Most Wanted, Race to the Newfound Land, an expansion for Lorenzo Il Magnifico, and the Kickstarter for Overlight. Let's get to it. Ariel is a new game from Nuno Bizarro Cintiario and Paulo Soledad. And you might know them from Madeira, Nippon, Panamax. They are generally regarded as kind of mid-heavyweight Euro designers. This one seems like a lot lighter fare. Ariel is the traditional Portuguese summer celebration where people go out in different neighborhoods and have parties, and it sounds kind of like, you know, cookouts or barbecues and that kind of thing. In this game, you're going to have action points that you use to draft polyomino tiles to place on your board, which is your neighborhood, and that's kind of the different goings-ons. So I really like polyomino tile placement, but Baron Park and Patchwork have, like, those games are so good, in my opinion, it's going to have to be a pretty good game for me to get super interested in it, but, I mean, I'm definitely interested in trying this one out. I absolutely love the artwork on this game. I really like that they did something a little bit different. They went like really 60s with it, and it's got some really funny touches. Like in the bottom left corner, there's a guy cooking fish, and one of the fish, it seems like, is coughing out smoke, but there's a music note in it. Like, I guess it's singing that. And then there's just a monk with a baby, just checking it out. You know, why not? So yeah, excited to try this one out. Most Wanted is a new game coming out from North Star Games. It's designed by Ken Gruel and Quentin Weir, who are the designers of Happy Salmon, along with Dominic Krapichetis, who is the owner of North Star Games and designed Wits and Wagers, amongst a bunch of other stuff. They said that they want this to do for poker what King of Tokyo did for Yahtzee, which is a tall ask. The theme is it's a Western, you're trying to become the most notorious outlaw. By playing a poker-style game, there are 7 different actions you can take on cards in the standard game, and then 5 different ones that you can swap in and out to change things up a little bit. Poker's tough like this because a lot of people can be really good at poker because there's pre-existing knowledge on, you know, statistics on how often certain hands beat other hands and what to do in certain situations and stuff like that. So if you take enough from poker that is relevant, then it's no longer a light game because somebody that's good at poker and already knows those statistics will be better. Where then if you don't take that stuff, it's kind of like, I don't know, why poker? But I'm interested to check this one out. Race to the Newfound Land is coming out from Z-Man Games. In this, you're sailors exploring and inhabiting newfound lands. You know, colonization. The fun joys of colonization. In a lot of ways, this looks like kind of like a retro, not retro, but kind of a throwback Euro game, just so Euro-y, which I'm excited about because I like that kind of stuff, but in theme as well, where it's a game about colonization, whether or not, I don't think you're in the game, I'm not sure, I don't think you're like, they address that there are probably native peoples on any newfound land, assuming that it is not Antarctica, but there were. But it uses area control, tile placement, and worker placement mechanics, as I said, classic Euro. So I'm excited about this one just because of the mechanics, and it seems so Euro-y, and I like that. And I like the updated Euro-style artwork, where it's a little bit more colorful, a little bit more active. Lorenzo Il Magnifico is getting its first full-size expansion called Houses of Renaissance. Amongst other things, this is going to add family tiles that give you special abilities in the game, new leader cards, and the components for a 5th player. So now you can play 5-player Lorenzo Il Magnifico. This game came out in 2016, I believe, and was pretty well regarded then, so interesting to seeing it getting an expansion. This is coming out from Simon over here, and it's out, I think in a couple days. So I either missed news of this announcement, or they're just churning so much stuff out. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, go buy this now. So it's out pretty much now. This week's Kickstarter is for Overlight. This is a new RPG coming out from Renegade Game Studios. It's interesting to see Renegade, that has been killing it in board games, expanding their kind of reach into the role-playing game arena. The theme of this RPG is that there's 7 floating continents, basically, in a sky that is perpetually light. There's no sun or moon or night or anything. It's just perpetually bathed in light. And then there are certain special people or creatures that can splinter that light into the 7 different colors of the prism and then use that for abilities. So it's kind of, yeah, I don't know. The artwork on it is just astoundingly good. It's Kwanchai Moria's paintings that it's just so good. I'm really excited to kind of see the book completely fleshed out with all these different illustrations that he's doing. And it's kind of, for my money, going to be a shoo-in for best RPG artwork for the Golden Geek and for the Origins Award and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if the general RPG community will get behind it as much as the board game community will, but boy, the artwork's so good. You can get the 300-page hardcover book for $50 right now on Kickstarter, so if that sounds interesting to you, go back that. Alright, that's the news for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you follow me on social media. I'm at Chris Bryan Games on Instagram and Twitter. Also, make sure you check out my Patreon, linked below, for all sorts of exclusive, fun stuff. So this week, in lieu of a question, I'm going to talk a little bit about a thing I'm doing. So, I haven't been into miniatures gaming since I was like 17, basically, which is half of my life ago, almost. But recently I got a 3D printer, and around that same time, one of my friends in my game group asked if I wanted to... There was an old Games Workshop game called Mordheim that came out in 1999, and it was a skirmish level game that he really liked, and he was like, I'm thinking about getting back into it. Games Workshop is opening their first board game cafe, or Games Workshop cafe. I'm not sure what it's going to be. And they chose Grapevine, which is a town pretty close to me, and he works literally next door to it. So he was like, I'm thinking about getting back into my old Games Workshop stuff, just because there's going to be that cafe, and I want to support him and whatever. And he asked if I'd be interested, and I was like, sure, yeah, I haven't played a miniatures game in forever. That sounds fun. That combined with, I just got a 3D printer a couple weeks ago with the intent of prototyping some components for board games that I'm designing, stuff like that. But there's all sorts of free files for printing miniatures terrain. So I've gotten way into printing miniatures terrain, and it's really, really awesome. This stuff's cool. You can get destruction stuff, but then you can stack them on top of each other and make multiple story destruction stuff. And then there's these little barrel things. I don't know why I'm talking in the most annoying way to describe this. So yeah, these little barricades, and then this is a little dwarven brewery I printed, and all these files are free. And I'm just talking about it because it's what I'm doing right now, and I'm really into it and excited about it. And I was blown away by how inexpensive 3D printing had gotten. In my mind, it was still to have a decent printer that could do stuff like this quality. I thought it was thousands of dollars, but my printer cost $350, and it's great. So that's super exciting. And then this film, this probably cost 10 cents in plastic. I don't know, maybe 25 cents in plastic. So I'm going crazy with printing miniatures terrain, just so you know that I'm going to disappear off the face of the earth, because that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to print miniatures terrain for the rest of my life. There's no theme to that or anything. I was just talking about something I'm excited about, because I'm excited about it, and I don't know, I'll get back into miniatures gaming, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how that is. I might drop it immediately, but yeah, anyways, that's the news this week. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.